Is it worth it to drive for Uber in 2022? Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to the RideShare Guy. Now, you might be wondering how you can make some extra money by doing something other than what you might be doing currently right now. And you might be thinking, hey, is it worth it to drive Uber in 2022? Well, let's go over that right now. Let's talk about some of the pros, some of the cons, and some things that you can do in order to make it more profitable for you. But the short answer is it's going to depend. Some drivers are profitable, some drivers are not. It's going to depend on you, the time you go out, your market, and also what strategies you put in place. Because a few years ago, you could go out and make a lot of money. Today, you have to implement strategies in order to make it profitable. So let's talk about some of the pros driving for Uber in 2022. All right, so earlier this year, Uber announced that they are bringing upfront earnings, upfront fares, upfront trip information to drivers before they accept the trip. What that means is you're able to see how much you're going to make, how far the trip is, the pickup location, and also the total duration of the trip, all the way to the end point of the trip. So you have all of that information right up at hand, and it will make you a more informed decision whether that ride is going to be worth it for you to take or not. Now, another pro is if you're in the right area and you know where to go, well, it's going to be pretty easy for you to actually go out there and earn some money. But the big thing is going to come down to timing and location. You need to plan out what's going on for that day, for the week, even maybe for the month, just depending on where your location actually is. And it also might be worth it for you to drive to a local city or another area that might not be too far from you. It's also going to come down. Are you looking at this part-time? Are you going to go out 1 or 2 extra days a week? Are you going to look at it more full-time because maybe you've been laid off? Well, there's a lot of variances between, and it's going to be what you as a driver or what you in your financial situation looks like. And yeah, when you go out on the road, if you implement certain strategies, then you will be able to actually make more money than another driver who could be in your area that's not using those same strategies. And that is a great segue for this to make sure that you're subscribed. If you're not already, make sure you do, because there is new content coming out and plenty of different content that we already have on the channel, which is going to help you strategize what you can do and help maximize your earnings out on the road as an Uber driver. Another pro when it comes to driving Uber is in several markets, it's usually a busier platform. Another thing when it comes to driving Uber is you don't have to stick to just rideshare. You can also sign up to do Uber Eats and do food deliveries. They have Corner Shop, which is their food and grocery service. And they also have Uber Connect, which is package delivery. So you have multiple ranges of different things that you can do when it comes to driving on the Uber platform. So you can kind of multi-app within just one app itself. And of course, the biggest pro to them all is when you have somebody in your car or when you have food in your car and you complete that trip, you're going to get paid. And you can instant cash out if you need to, so you can do whatever you need to with that particular money. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to driving Uber or any of these other gig platforms. There are definitely cons to them. So let's go over some of the cons when it comes to driving for Uber and if it's worth it for you to drive. So first, with upfront earnings, they now have decoupled time and distance. So they could change the rates at any times without somebody knowing. And all you know is the price that you're offered for the trip that they're offering you. So this is something that it could be good because you might make more money than the old way of doing it. But it could be the opposite where you could make less and you just don't know. Now, we do have a lot of content talking about upfront earnings, and we're going to be testing the upfront earnings algorithm even more. So make sure you do stay tuned and watch us on Show Me the Money Club, which is our live show, live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Now, another con is that they haven't raised their pay rates to drivers in a number of years. So what you were being paid a few years ago is the same technical rate you're getting paid now. But like I said, as they went to upfront earnings, that has kind of changed because they don't do time and distance anymore. Now, another con is that as prices have risen for cars, for maintenance, for tires, for gas, that's a huge one. that has, again, not impacted rates when it comes to drivers getting paid. The only thing that they did add was the 45-cent or 55-cent fuel surcharge, which probably will be coming to an end soon, but we haven't heard anything yet. So for the current time, you are still getting a fuel surcharge from Uber. Another thing that is a con is the type of training that they tell you and some of the messages that they give to you and say, hey, you should accept every ride, when in fact, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes rides are not going to be worth it for you, and you need to know what is going to be worth it for you and what is not, so you can make the best informed decision whether you want to accept that ride or not. Now, some people do accept everything, and that is just by their choice. It's up to them. But if you're really trying to implement certain strategies and you're really trying to maximize your time on the road, well, that is something that you want to consider is this ride going to be profitable for me or not? And where is this ride going to take me? Because am I going to want to be there or not? Now, an example of that would be if you're in the city and a ride is going to take you out of the city where there's not something going on. Do you want to stay there, or would you want to go to an area where there might not be rides? So those are a few of the cons when it comes to driving. But let's talk about some of the strategies, which we've kind of touched on already. And that is something like knowing that you don't have to accept every single ride. Some rides that they offer you are not going to be profitable. Another strategy is limiting your expenses. How much you pay for something you can try to limit, like gas. Download the Upside app, use the link in the description below, enter RIDE35 and get up to 65 cents off per gallon on your first fill up. Another big strategy is, like I said, make sure you're following us on the RideShare Guy. We talk about different strategies all the time, and make sure you watch our live stream called Show Me the Money Club live on Tuesdays. And the best thing that you can do, find a driver in your area who's been driving for a little while and ask them to mentor you, because you're going to have somebody who knows exactly what's going on in the area and they're going to be able to help you. But all in all, is it worth it to drive Uber in 2022? The answer is yes, as long as you implement the strategies, have a plan, and know when and where to go out. If you just go out willy-nilly, well, you're probably not going to make much, and you could actually lose money and not realize it. Well, now you might be wondering, is it worth it for me to drive Lyft as well? Should I multi-app? And the answer is, check out this video right here as we go over, is it worth it for you to drive Lyft in 2022? Also, right here is the subscribe button. So if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, click it right here. All right, drive smart, everyone.